Our mate Plomplepop has got a movie out, and what do parks who leech on IPs do when that happens? Yep, they double down and milk that cow for all it's worth. And knowing this, the park's planning application came with two significant expansions of Plomplepop Land in the form of a new story-based dark ride and a future roller coaster. With guests demanding more and more Plomplepop, the park are willing to invest an incredible amount of money towards it, where the future of the area is to make it a second gate aside from the main gate. Bow down to your gummy throwing overlord. Hello you guys, welcome back to Planet Coaster 2, welcome back to Fustastica. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride, and welcome to what is in my timeline the day that Update 3 has just this second dropped, but for you it's going to be a bit weird because that was weeks ago, right? But as you know, I had early access to the update, and we had access to the Western stuff really early, and then they revoked our access ahead of the update, and I had this dawning realization that I was going to lose the lot, right? We pulled together this amazing steampunk area last week, and I suddenly had, oh my god, what am I going to do? However, it looks like everything is intact. There were a few oddities. The boilers and some of the chimneys needed to be redone. The rotunda needed to be redone. But other than that, everything seems to be okay. So, it's onwards and upwards for Fustastica. We're okay. There's no rebuild that's needed. And this is how we're sitting from the park at the top. And you can see where we are already going to expand. Now, as you know, the park is investing constantly, and we are throwing in new attractions, but we are also avoiding sprawl where possible. Now, we always said this field was going to get redeveloped, especially when we put all of these maintenance bits in. So, this is what we are going to do. And yes, it's a Plomplepop expansion. Of course it's going to be. And what better way of doing that than with a dark ride like this? So let me talk you through my thought process, right? Let me talk you through what I'm thinking. Let me get my trusty gravel, as always. And let's just bring this right the way down. No, that right the way down. Go further. There you go. Right, so I'll talk you through the actual layout and stuff of the ride in a second, but I'm kind of thinking that I want the queue line to come through here, and then this scene inside here. So it's going to be a dark ride because we're Britain and we rain a lot, like a lot. So we need more indoor attractions in this park, and I'm a glutton for punishment, so I just want to do another dark ride. So I kind of want them to come like through here with the queue line, and I want them to cross the road and then come down this way and cross the road again. And then maybe come through here and then come outside the building. I'm going to make that make sense, right, when I actually put it together. But I kind of want it to have some kind of interactive element to it. Then I'm going to put it together as some kind of, like, intricate queue line that I always do. And then, of course, that's going to line up to a plaza that just so coincidentally happens that I designed last week. Not an accident. So the plaza area is going to come around this way and then join up, and then of course it's going to come around this way as well. Now this is a two-phased thing. This is coming next week. I think you can probably guess what's going to be there, but I'm not going to do that this week. That's going to be next week's expansion, so that's phase 2. Let me talk you through the dark ride then, because we've got a few things that I want. I've got maintenance area at the back here. We're going to start in Plomplepop's house. Because I think that's probably a good place to start, right? So this would be like the boundary of the house, and then we're going to go outside and we're going to go into the garden or into some kind of like park area. Then I don't want it to be creepy, but I want him to go down an alleyway. And the reason for that is because we need to transition to the town scene. You know, the town scene that we had in Cadlam Castle. I kind of want to transition into that. So it's going to open up into the town square, roughly this sort of place, like that. And then we're going to go into the laboratory, because of course that's where all the fun actually happens. Now I don't actually know what the laboratory is going to look like, but I think this is probably going to be the boundary of that, right? So this is going to be the laboratory here. So we're going to close this bit off. I want there to be like some kind of central feature here. This is why it's turning around on itself. But I then want it to go into a dark area where he's then going to experience the gummies being thrown. Or you're going to experience the gummies being thrown in a non-threatening way. Which I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. That's going to be quite difficult. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just real simple scenes. The house, the garden, the town square, the laboratory, the dark gummy scene. done. This is going to be the gift shop, so ride photos will be here. This will be the main like pay point where all the tills and stuff would be, and then this would be an actual gift shop. And this is not going to be the only thing we're going to do this episode, because I think I've got some flat rides in me, right? So Cadlam Castle had the chair swings. So if I grab the chair airplane, I think that the perfect position for this is going to be here, because I need to find a way of bringing these areas together, and I think the chair swing there is going to be good. I do also want to put in the Ferris wheel, because the Cadlam Castle and the Royale Myle area had a Ferris wheel, so I think something like that around about there. And if I'm not if I'm not already doing enough, I think I want to do a stage, right? So I think we're going to need, like, when you have character meet and greets or character shows, like Alton Towers puts on. That's what I'm thinking, because we don't have much of that at the moment. We've got lots of rides, we've got lots of things to do, but we don't have many stages. So I just want a real simple stage just to fit into that kind of space there. That's a lot of work. So I'm going to go and do that. I will see you in a minute. Alright, I'm not quite ready to show you everything. I mean, that's the state of the area as it is right now. There's not much that's actually happened, but I'm in a let's play mode because I know there's things you're going to ask me how I've done, so I think let me just show you. However, this is the city scene as we've got at the moment, and what I absolutely love about doing cartoony, kidsy type stuff is none of it has to make sense. None of it is to scale. None of it has to be to scale. None of it has to have any kind of physics associated to it, and it's so much fun. It's really so freeing just to say this doesn't make any sense. The other thing I love about cartoons, by the way, is so many adult references that kids just don't get. Oh, I love it. It's Innuendo City, and yes. So anyway, this is the city scene that I've got. I've copied as much as I can across, by the way, from the Cadlam Castle one. So this is all consistent with the design of the buildings that we had before. And of course, this is the queue line that I wanted to have. This idea where I said I wanted them to cross the road and then cross back again. That's exactly what I've got. So what I wanted to show you is all of this background, because it seems really, really simple, right? And in fact, it actually is. It's just a blue background that I've chosen that's a sky blue. I've attached it to a building, and what I want is for there to be like rolling hills and stuff in the background, because it actually gives this idea of being out in the wilderness and stuff, right? So that's the vibe, the effect that I'm going for. So I've got art shapes. Well, in fact, we've all got art shapes. And all I do for the hills is I just place the circle. You could also use the semicircle or half circle, as it's called in the game. I mean, that works just as well, and that's my base of my hill, but that looks a little bit bland at the moment. So the other thing then is to have a different color hill that's in the background. I don't actually remember where I learnt to do this. It was definitely taught to me because I did art and stuff. I just don't remember where it was taught to me. Whatever, where I learnt it, not a clue. But anyway, there's the hills, and then of course we've got the sky. So because this is blue, you could keep it blue if you wanted to. However, it doesn't look like sky. It just looks like a wall. So exactly the same principle for the clouds. You just take an art shape, and then you have a circle. Again, the semicircle works just as well if you're wanting to have the flat clouds. You wanted to have it like that kind of cartoon. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit 3D. You sort of choose your art style, don't you? And then all you do is you just place them around like that. And then you just make sure that it feels like a cloud. Done. Happy, happy days. Now, the other thing that I've got are the birds. So these are actually really, really easy to do. I'm just going to show this to you. These are the metal support girders. The horizontal ones, the real small ones, shrunk down to as small as they'll go. And you've got 4 there, and you just put them into this little bird shape. And then it actually looks like they're birds. And I love it, right? Absolutely 100% works. The picket fence, these are all just the coaster supports put down as small as they'll go, and then you just make a picket fence from it. And it doesn't have to be even, doesn't have to be equal. Remember, there's no physics or logic when it comes to doing cartoons. It's all about whimsy, and it's all about having fun, and it's all about not making sense. The trees, they're just art-shaped representations of the art-shaped trees. Quite literally, that's all it is. And then down here, all I've done with the flowers is I've just copied the flowers that I use elsewhere, and that becomes the planters. And it just absolutely 100% makes sense. These Belisha beacons, they are just the coaster supports that have been, again, shrunk right down. One coloured black, one coloured white. And then underneath that, you've got the resort lamppost. That's with the, got the actual light coloured yellow, and then the bottom coloured black. And then it looks like that. We've also got a post box here. It's just art shapes, literally just art shapes. There's a cylinder there, slightly wider cylinder. There's a circle, sphere, and then there's the sign bracket that you attach the screens to, and then the anchor plate that I use for everything else, and just some text to say post box, just in case you didn't know what it was. And these telephone boxes, they're not mine. They are part of this incredible English set. Let me just grab it. It's this one here. View it in the workshop so you can see it. Where is it? I actually have no idea where it's going to be. One moment, please. Cooler. There it is. English set. And there's the share code if you want it. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I just copied that across because they had telephone boxes. So there you go. That is pretty much how I'm dealing with this. Down here, by the way, the road, I did originally have it just being straight off in the distance. Speaking to Spike. Thanks, Spike. He come up with an idea of how to create it so it goes away into the distance. So there you go. That's what we've got. And this is the cute. I love how this is turning out. I need to do his house, but I love how it's turning out. Absolutely perfect. Right, so I just wanted to show you how I was pulling that together, just so you sort of had an idea. I'm going to go do the rest. I'll see you for the middle part in a sec. Alright, so now we're about halfway through, and although it might not look like much from down here, guys, I think I'm a Dark Ride convert. Like, I can't wait to show this to you. It's turning out so much better than I ever thought. Even in my wildest imagination, I didn't think this was going to look like this. And in terms of scale, this is actually the kind of size I thought the log flume for the Viking area was going to be. I love it, right? I absolutely love it. So, shall I show you around? Shall I take a tour? We'll also do a bit of a live play bit in a moment as well. But we're going to start down here. The camera, by the way, the camera work on this is going to be a bit dodgy because there's lots of random walls and stuff, and the camera doesn't like that, gets stuck to scenery. Anyway, the station, it's supposed to be like his hallway almost, and it's very pink, it's very orange, it's very blue. But these are like the colours of Plomplepop, right? This is exactly as you would imagine it to be. And these windows, I love it. The curtains just finish it off, but the actual image behind it, that's taken from VidEasy. You know, the site that I use for all of my videos and audios and stuff because it's copyright free. Yeah, it just looks absolutely perfect. And then, of course, this would be the ride console where staff and stuff go, and then this would be the staff stairs going up there. So it just looks so cartoony. Like, Planet Coaster does cartoon really, really, really well. So then we come through into the first scene. It is, of course, his living room. So let me just get my camera right. Yeah, so this is kind of setting the scene for how next week is going to be, because, of course, that's also going to be set in his living room. But there is just all sorts of little bits, like the flower just works perfectly in the vase, and the telly. I just pulled it together with art shapes. There are screens, by the way, all along here, so I could put images and videos and stuff in. I don't know yet if I'm going to, but I've at least put the placeholders and stuff in there. But I love it. And again, there's the window with the curtains and stuff. And then we come out into what is essentially the like the park, the garden, if you like, whatever you want to call it. And then that's the first time you meet his friend. There's Adam the Atom. But yeah, the whole murals on the walls and stuff, it just makes it feel right. We're going to take a dark look at it later, by the way, when the roof and stuff is on. And then we come into the town scene. So yes, I did actually decide to not do the alleyway thing. It felt like this can be quite threatening as it is. You'll see later on. So I've decided to actually just open up the city, and this is the first part of that. So here's a couple of the buildings, and of course you've got Bunsen burners, and then there's Beatrice. I think her name was Beatrice the Bunsen burner. So there she is. I've actually turned her flame off because she's a bit of a burn risk otherwise, isn't she? But yeah, so that's ultimately what we're looking for in terms of the city bit here. Love it. And as I said before, the beauty of doing cartoons, none of it has to make sense. None of it has to be to scale. None of it has to adhere to physics. It's amazing. It's so freeing. Then we've got the hotel. Love the hotel. It's just so bright and so there. And then, of course, we've got the main buildings. You'll probably recognise these from Cadnam Castle. These would be like the main town square buildings. And I have just used the clock tower from last week because it just fits perfectly there. And I think I'm going to use it on the outside as well. And then we've got Nos. So this is Nos. Here he is. He's the NO2 canister. And oh, get out of the way. What's going on? Yeah, so he's just he's just got a shop, and that's just his shop there, and absolutely love it. And then you've got the laboratory, and of course, let me just change the camera. And of course, it is spelt incorrectly because it's a kid, right? Of course it is. But because we're throwing gummies and stuff around, we've got some holes in the walls, and we've got some plasters, or some band-aids for my American friends. Just to bring that to life. And then we come into his actual laboratory, right? Love it. Just the checkered wall. The checkered wall, by the way, so many pieces. So many pieces, but worth it. Absolutely worth it. Then, of course, we've got the same thing. This bit. Boo! Love it. And there's lights and stuff that happen at the same time that you'll see later. But around here, we've got all sorts of like sciencey type stuff. I've tried to make these look like books. I don't think they look like books, but you know, I've tried my best. And then you've got the petri dishes and stuff that are around, and all the gummies. So this is where he's actually creating the gummies. I still don't know what the gummies are all for. Like, I've got no idea what part of the story they play. I'm just playing along with it. And then we come into the gummy room, and I'm going to need to show this to you in darkness because it's perfect. This is the frightening, threatening bit of the whole thing. Hang on. Whoa. Stop, because the light comes on and it exposes little Plomple, or big Plomple, should I say, and then lights go off. And he throws gummies at you. Can you imagine being a kid? I think that's probably going to be quite frightening. But that's the whole part of the experience, right? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be the thing that he does. And then when you exit, you come into the splat zone. So there you go. There's the splat zone, and it's just going to be dark, and it's just going to have all the splats on the wall and stuff. So these little runners. Then the moving platforms, I have secured them to the beams and stuff to make sure that they are actually secure and whatever. I love it. So the shop itself, I've just started to do the wall colours. I've just put the rainbow colours, actual rainbow colours, all along the side here, and then just different coloured walls. What I now need to do is start the process of copying across all of the city stuff, or the town stuff, to the actual outside. Being careful, though, to not just repeat everything. So, like, here's my attempt at doing Bunsen Burger. And I think it works. Like, it's slightly different. The windows and stuff are in a slightly different place. But what I'm looking for here is for there to be an actual town scene that we can do, right? So I'm trying to maintain the integrity of that town. So there's, like, the trees, stuff that are going along here. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Then of course you've got the flowers. They live sort of like on the pavement, right? So that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know where these staff have come from, because everything should be blocked off. Let's just not ask questions. And then we've got the other bits of the town stuff coming through here, right? So I just wanted the bollards and stuff to be all along here, because that's just gives the town a little bit of bulk. It sort of like bulks the area up a little bit. So this is kind of what I'm thinking there. Then you've got the bleach beacon. Now it's all bigger than inside the building, right? Because of course you'd expect it to be. But this is just me here testing out what the sight lines and stuff are actually going to look like. And yeah, I can dig it. So like this would be the hotel. This is going to be Nos's shop. This is going to be this one here. On this one. This is, of course, then going to be Bunsen Burger. This one here will be this one here. And then the yellow one is, of course, going to be the yellow one that's there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. And I'm loving it. I actually just want to go and get on with it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll see you in a minute. Oh, guys, you are going to need to forgive me if I sound a little bit tired. I've just pulled all night to finish this off. And, oh my god, I am so glad that I have because I love it. These two rides sitting here. Ah, yes, they're perfect. And this is the town. And it's just come together so amazingly. I can't wait to show you around. I literally can't. But first, we need to do the official inauguration because these guys are keen beans to get in. Are we ready? Right, there's one. So that's number one. And there's another one over this side we need to do as well. And with that, we are officially open. Yes! This just has come to life. I've just removed a couple of trees to sort of make it flow through, and it absolutely works. And next week when we do the coaster and the stage, it's going to just come to life. It really, really is. I can't wait. It's going to be Plomplepop's house, and it's going to be incredible. So this bit here is a placeholder. I think I'm going to be able to squeeze in another ride here. I just don't know how I'm going to do it yet. So this is all a bit placeholdery, but I mean, I'm happy with it. It's kind of what the park would do. It's a picnic area. It was absolutely needed. We'll show you the town and stuff in a moment. Let's actually do the ride because this is the important bit. I don't know where they're going. Like they're in a hurry to get somewhere. So I'm not going to go into peep cam because it's not going to let me go on the ride in peep cam. So we're going to do it this way, and you're just going to have to forgive my really poor camera work. Because what changes? Nothing changes. Nothing new. So this is the cattle pen queue, or the queue line that's going through the outside. Lots of Plomplepop base stuff. Love it. Plomplepop's Great Adventure. There he is. Love it, love it, love it. And this stuff on the outside, by the way, just randomly came to me. I needed something to try and hide the building, so I decided to colour it in the same sky, and it looks alright actually. It looks pretty decent. Put the clouds on and it's all good. Then we've got the Don't Die stuff just along here for the maintenance, and of course the HVAC units and the access points and all of the sheds and stuff. There is also a functional staff building at the back here as well, so that kind of makes it worth it. Right, so then we come through this way and we come into the queue line, and this is exactly how I wanted it. Let me just change the camera. Exactly how I wanted it when I was planning it. Like this idea of crossing the road here, walking down here and crossing back, and then into Plomplepop's house. Yes, it's just perfect. It's perfect. And this is, of course, representation of what Plomplepop's house would look like. And next week we're actually going to see what it is going to look like because I don't know yet. Then we're going to walk through this really, really garish corridor, and I love it. If you guys want to do Plomplepop artwork and let me know, then I'll put them in the picture frames because yeah, you guys never cease to amaze me. So do it. And then we come into the station, and here it is. Let me just get a slightly better camera. There we go. No, wait, hang on. There we go. I kind of wish I hadn't made this so blue. I think I might change it next week. I might come back and do it, because these are orange walls, right? And it kind of defeats the object of having it. Anyway, we're going to walk through this way, because this is the living room. A bit of touching up work inside here has been done. A few things just needed tweaking. And then we come through into the park scene. There we go. And then we come into the first of the city scenes. I'm trying to keep up with this train because there's lots of lights and stuff that happen whilst we go on, but no spoilers because we're going to go on a ride afterwards. There's Bernice. There she is. She's sitting there all pretty. I did put her fire back on, by the way. It's probably fake fire, let's be honest. And then we kind of come through this way, and the traffic lights and stuff are in. You know, I can't trigger them, sadly. I really wish I could, because I wanted them to have changes of colours and stuff like that flashing is. I wanted the traffic lights to flash. And then we've got some special effects that are kicking off. There we go. Unfortunately, the lights or the lighting engine in game floods the area, right? So you can't actually do proper spotlights. So the idea of a dark ride being all dark up here and the light coming down blinds it doesn't happen in Planet Coaster, because that's just the way that computer generated lighting works. So we'll just have to deal with it. But I wanted a spotlight to come down here because I wanted NOS to kick off. I wanted there to be bubbles, and of course you've just seen the confetti. And then it's the chairs spin back round, the cars spin back round, so you go through the laboratory as it's lit up. So love it. Yeah, absolutely for it. And then we come through here into the actual laboratory itself, and I've put some mist and stuff in here, but again the lighting engine just makes it look weird, right? You can see it's looking a bit weird, but it's fine. It scares me every single time. And then I've just got some lights that follow the cars around. Because of the idea that this whole thing is flooded in lighting, I just didn't want it to. I want it to be that way. I wanted like those lights to flash and stuff. So yeah, I've just had the lighting that follows the car around. A few timing changes here. So there's a light that comes on here. We come inside this way, and then we've got Plomplepop does his thing, throws the gummies. There we go. I need to get rid of these two walls. I keep forgetting to get rid of them. There we go. And then, hang on. There we go. And then we come into the splat zone. So there's the splat zone. So with that in mind, I think we're ready to open. There we go. Open up. Job is a good one. Like, oh, love it. And then we exit. Wait, hang on. That's not how we exit. Let's retry that again. Oh, what are you doing there, guys? Are you stuck? No, whatever. We come through this way into the photo unit, and then we come into the actual gift shop itself. It's really dark back there, isn't it? I might need to fix that in the future. Whatever. And then this is the front end of the gift shop. It's just a gift shop, right? And I've just put Plomplepop stuff out, and it all looks all right. And then this is the actual town itself. So let me just correct my camera. There we go. So we've got the chair swing here, and then the queue comes through the back this way, and it's just a cattle pen, and it's all amazing. And then there is the Ferris wheel. It's got quite a queue actually. I didn't expect that. Ferris wheel there, sitting quite pretty. There's the outside of the shop. So you've seen all of these exteriors, right? Because I've just copied them across from the actual ride. It's how they would be in the TV show. So you want them to be as faithfully recreated as possible. So this would be the actual Plomplepop shop, or the Plomple shop. And of course the sign is back where he crosses out the P and puts the SH on there. Love it. And then we've got, well, this doesn't have a name, but it's like the town hall, if you like, or the town thing. I don't quite know what you would call it. And then we've got Bunsen Burger. I do kind of wish I had made these functional, but at the same time, this is just a face your wall to hide the fact that there's a bloody great big building back there. Whether or not I'm going to do that, I don't know, because this road feels really, really wide, and when the roller coaster is in, I think it's going to feel too wide. So I do have scope to lengthen or bring the building out and make these actual shops. I don't know yet. I just don't know. I kind of don't want to go back and do it all, if I'm honest, but I might. And then we've got the other shop here, and then we've got Nosh's Nosh. Then we've got the hotel, and the hotel is just sitting there as it should be. So this is how everything is looking from the top. It's just an area, a Plomplepop area that has really, really, really come together. I shouldn't have thought about making these shops and sticking out and stuff, because it's now, that's going to be a next week thing, isn't it? I'm just going to have to, fine, I'm going to do it. I think, let me sleep on it. It's really early in the morning. I should go to bed. Guys, thank you so much for getting to the end of this episode. I really do appreciate it. As always, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the stuff to do. We're going to go for a ride. I will see you next week. Have a good one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.